Hello, students. Today I'm going to be teaching you about Chapter 2. And in Chapter 2, we are really going to just be exploring chemistry. And you might be thinking, wait, I thought I signed up for honors biology, not honors chemistry. But we can't really learn about biology until we have a solid foundation in chemistry. So, Chapter 2 is actually just going to be purely about chemistry. But I think by the end of the chapter, you will see a lot of connections to biology that we're going to look at. For example, if we look at this wonderful ecosystem in the coral reef and all these beautiful animals, this wouldn't be possible without all of the chemical interactions that are happening inside and outside of their bodies. So, in this chapter, we're going to look at a few different things. We're going to be looking at what is an element, what is an atom, what is a compound. We're going to be looking at the different types of chemical bonds and how we form molecules. And then we're going to finish the chapter by just looking at water, because I think you might start to realize that water is probably the most important molecule for life. So let's get started. So, all living things are composed of matter, and matter is just another word for stuff. So, matter is something that is made of the chemical elements. So, maybe in chemistry class, you saw the periodic table, which has many elements on it. There's over 100. But for biology, we are only going to talk about maybe 25 elements. And we're going to spend most of our time just talking about 4 elements. That's it for the whole class. The only 4 elements we really care about is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. There are some other important elements as well that we need to survive, but those 4 will be the ones that we focus on the most. And you can see an example of chemistry here. If we look at what does pure sodium look like versus chlorine gas, when we combine these, we can make something called sodium chloride, which is a common table salt that you might see at a Western restaurant. So, in your body, what is your body made of? Well, you can see an example of maybe the top 12 most common elements here. And you can see the vast majority of your body is just made of oxygen. So, uh, even though most of our body is just made of those 4 elements here, we can see carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. There are several other elements as well. In fact, we use a word called trace, and trace means that there's a very small amount. So there are trace elements that we need in our body to prevent disease. And we also need these trace elements just to help us be healthy. So when you're eating a lot of different foods, you're getting a lot of different vitamins, and those would be like the trace elements, for example. And if you look at this woman, she has a condition that's called a goiter, and it looks really quite painful. And this condition is caused by a lack of certain trace elements that can make you healthy. So that's why it's important to eat a lot of different types of food in your diet. If you eat a lot of different types of food, you can make sure you're getting enough trace elements. In fact, if you're brushing your teeth regularly, which I hope you are, if you want to make friends, you should brush your teeth often. And if you brush your teeth, oftentimes there will be something called fluoride found in the toothpaste. Or in some countries, they even put fluoride in the drinking water to protect your teeth. This is a trace element that helps to keep our teeth healthy. All right, so moving on.